Josef Aschbacher is the director of the European Space Agency, and he told my colleague Ben Clark that there are many new exciting projects to look forward to.
2022 will be a busy year for us. We have actually a lot of milestones coming up. Some of them are launches of missions. We have ExoMars to be launched in September together with our Russian partners. Artemis, of course, comes before that. Artemis will be the first mission to the moon with NASA, where Europe has an essential contribution, the so-called ESM, the European Service Module, which means that without that, the moon mission would not be possible. So we are really we are on the critical path or an essential partner for these missions.
What is the potential role of space technology in addressing environmental, economic and security challenges?
There's a lot. Space is, first of all, on the environmental part, it is essential to understand our planet. Without space, you would not know how our climate and our planet changes. All the measurements of carbon dioxide, of deforestation, of fires on our planet, of the melting of the ice caps, all this can only be done because we have accurate satellites providing this information on a daily basis. This is essential. But also our astronauts, they have a unique view from the space station, and they tell us how fragile our planet is, how beautiful, but also how fragile. So there's a lot on this part, which is really where space is working on sustainability and the conservation of our planet.
What opportunities are there for collaboration in space? You did mention your work with your Russian partners. What other collaboration is underway beyond the European continent, perhaps?
No, of course, first we are used to work with international partners. Within Europe already we have 22 countries making up the European Space Agency. So you can believe me, this is a lot of intergovernmental cooperation within Europe. As you know, Canada is a cooperating state of ESA. And then we have, of course, agreements. We have hundreds actually, of agreements with different space agencies and partners worldwide. And they really go everywhere. This is going, of course, from the US on many aspects, but also all the way to China. We have agreements with China on the SMILE mission, on Dragon, which is a science program where we use Earth observation data to derive information of all kinds, from agriculture to forestry to some economic activities, with hundreds of scientists on each side, on the Chinese side and the European side, working very closely together on the use of space data. So yes, we work with many partners, and it's probably fair to say that the European Space Agency is the space agency having most international cooperation agreements with almost everyone.
How would you describe the role of the space and aerospace industry as the world recovers from what's been a pretty dreadful pandemic on a global scale?
Actually, this is quite surprising that despite COVID and some economic hardship in other segments, the space sector has been doing very well. We have increases in space budgets, both in public and in the private sector, in the double-digit domain, and this is really good. And the ESA budget, for example, this year is 12% larger than last year. But also in the private sector, we see increases of 167%, for example, in private money that has gone into space in Europe. And so, yes, the space sector is pretty resilient because on one side, we are dependent on space despite COVID and despite all the other elements. On the other side, it's a new economic opportunity, and companies and governments are investing because it's a domain of the future.